channel. Good evening. Here in Nigeria is 8 p.m. at night, and wherever location you are, welcome. Happy New Year once again, guys. And I'm happy to have you guys here. All right. So I promised you guys that I'll be live streaming every Sunday, right? But I'm sure most of you be surprised seeing me today. That is Wednesday, live streaming. Okay, so I'm actually doing this to address a particular issue. I'm doing this to address a issue, or I'm just doing this to address an issue. Okay. All right, happy to see you guys, happy to talk to you once again before Sunday. On Sunday, we are going to be talking exhaustively on a particular topic or issue, but today let's talk about something that is a bit bothering me. So I uploaded a video, and proud to that upload of that video. Some of you guys have been commending me. Some of you, my sincere and honest followers, subscribers, you have been commending me on my dictated upload. Okay, and I appreciate that. I know some of you that are really sincere, that watch my video from the beginning to the end. When I actually beat this or created this YouTube channel, my first option, my first mindset was to help the beginners, because I know where I started from, was to make sure I create something that is dictated, that I promise myself that I'm going to be creating videos that are extremely detailed. Even if I want to edit, I'll just edit a bit of it out. That was my intention. I wanted to give generously, but I actually noticed that in as much as the effort that I put into this video, sometimes they will not be watched. Okay, I noticed it, because when I go into my YouTube analytics, I found out that the more detailed ones are not overviewed, so the less detailed one are more viewed. So that's why I built my community. That's why I kept on asking you questions. Before I actually talked more about it, please, my live stream is first of all for the beginners. Secondly, it's for us to interact. I take you guys as my family, and I appreciate your feedback to me. I appreciate everything you guys have been doing. Please, let's always interact. You can always ask questions. That's why anytime I come on live stream, I'm always saying that you guys should ask me questions. If you guys had asked me some certain questions, I would most time I'll just make sure that whatever I'm doing, I relate it to that question. If I'm going to be creating filming a particular topic, a particular bag, I'll make sure I actually put whatever is bothering you in mind before I create a bag, or before I upload a bag. For instance, if I ask you for some design you want me to be creating, and I already have that in mind. If you want me to create film a bag that is structured, if you prefer that one to a backpack, or if you prefer such a bag to a traveling bag, I will always want you guys to let me know, because that is going to guide me in whatever I'm going to do. I don't know if you guys get. So always let me know what you guys prefer. So in order not to deviate much, so on that video, a beautiful subscriber of mine actually drew my attention to the fact that the last video before this live stream, it drew my attention to the fact that it was not as detailed as my previous videos. Okay, so actually filmed that video. I filmed it in a very detailed way. I filmed everything, but when I was editing, I decided to just cut out lots of it. Like, I edited most of the video out. Okay, so because I was a bit skeptical if you guys are going to watch, because from the previous analytics, from the previous stuff that I've seen on my analytics, I found out that the detailed ones are they kind of have less view. All right, so I now came to the conclusion that probably you people don't like stuff that are detailed. Maybe you just want something that you can just see the process in a very fast way, in a very quick way. That's why I filmed that last video that way. So it's not that I filmed it in a detailed way. Every detail, it was very detailed, but I had to edit part of it out. So I'm sorry if that was offensive. I'm sorry if it seems I didn't put you guys in mind. I did, but the view is not encouraging. So I felt maybe you people prefer the ones that are less detailed than the one that is more detailed. Maybe it's kind of boring to you guys, I don't know. That's why on my live stream I'll always ask you, what do you want? On my community tab, please, if you have not been following me on my community tab, occasionally I usually put things that are valuable there. Make sure you follow me on my community tab. You read stuff there. And on my live stream, make sure you are present whenever I'm live streaming. So this is just a miss to say I'm sorry. Okay, so from now on, whatever live stream I'm going to be doing, I'll ensure I put in my best to make it detailed, okay, for the beginners. Okay, so when I was filming that one, in part of that video, I actually let you people to know that I know that's not so, because again, in as much as you want it to be detailed, it's also good if you guys grow along with me. We can't be repeating the same process. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be making my videos detailed from now on. I will, all right, because I know there are some sincere and genuine viewers of my channel. But in as much as we are going to be doing that, every video cannot always be detailed as the previous ones are. I don't know if you get. We have to grow. We have to leave some certain things and move higher. All right, if I'll be uploading videos on how to, for instance, how to apply gum on interfacing, bag interfacing, how to apply gum back stiffener, and I'll be doing this like repeatedly. I'll be doing it repeatedly. You would expect me to keep on doing that as time go on. We have to move away from that and talk about things that are important. So I know that if you have been following me from the scratch, you would have known that these are things I'll be doing. For instance, applying gum on stabilizer, the process, how to make it smooth and all of that. We've talked about that, except you are a beginner on my channel. If you are a beginner, I'm going to use this medium to urge you guys to always look at my description box. Okay, so if I'm uploading a particular video, don't only just watch the video. You can always check on the description box to see some information, some vital crucial information. All right, so I can put a link there which can refer you to other videos that you can learn from. So we cannot be doing the same thing over and over again. In that case, we are not going to grow. All right, so I'm not saying I'm not going to be making my video detailed. Of course, I'm going to be doing that, mostly for the beginners, because whatever I do, I just ensure I put the beginners in mind. I put them at mind. Am I right? Okay, I consider the challenges that the beginners are going through. So from now on, I'll be making detailed video, irrespective of the fact of if you guys are going to view it or not. But I know I have genuine viewers. I know, I love you. I'm not going to mention, but with time, I'm going to be shouting out to you guys. I'm grateful for that. But even at that, I want to use this video to say we cannot be repeating everything. We have to grow. We have to grow past a particular process. So we cannot be saying the same thing over and over in the same video. So it's a growing process. There are things we just leave aside. So the best thing we can do is to make reference to some links that can refer you to watch those videos. So if you have been following me, please take note of that. And if you are a beginner here, please always check my description box. If I'm posting any video, check the description box for more details. So that is the reason I came here. I'm sorry, because I think that comment I made was a bit sensitive, where I said that the reason I did not upload everything, because I filmed it in detail, but I actually cut out some parts, was because I feel that it will make the video will be boring. And I also observed that most of you don't watch long detailed video, and Immediately I said that, immediately I made that comment, some of you start calling him, calling in, making comment that no, you actually watch my video from the beginning to the end. I know the people that do that, I'm grateful. And if you're one of these people that don't watch my video from beginning to the end, please do that. Will encourage me to do that more, but it's not easy. Like, I'm trying to give generously, I'm not holding any back. Just imagine me filming a video from beginning to the end, and at the stage of editing, and I started cutting in because I have this mindset, I have the feeling that people will not watch. I'm sorry if I didn't put you in mind, but it's something that I've observed. The more detail it is, the less the view. You know, it's not encouraged, because I'm going to use data. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep on saying that I want to use data, but that's just the basic facts. So it's not encouraging. So since some of you have said you will watch from the beginning to the end, and I know some of you that are very sincere, I'll be watching, I'll keep on doing my best to create detailed video. So this today's live stream is not expected, because I already told you guys that my live stream is not going to be from Sundays, every Sundays. Okay, so we can talk about important issues that is bothering us in terms of bag making. But this one is just sudden, because I posted that bag the day before yesterday, which was, today is Wednesday, right? I posted it on Monday, and the comment I made, I felt it's very sensitive by me saying that I actually cut out some part of the video because I felt you guys will not watch that video. I'm sorry. I ought not to have made such a comment, and from now on I crossed my mind, I'll make my videos detailed. Okay, I wouldn't mind if you guys are going to watch or not, because I know for sure that whatever I'm doing, first of all, I'm doing for God's blessing, not for human blessing. I'm doing for God's blessing. I'm also doing it for humanity. There are some people that cannot afford some courses online, so and there are some videos online that you might, when you are watching it, it seems to be simple, but by the time you want to practicalize it, it's going to be hard for you guys, especially when you're a beginner. But when we take it step by step, it will be easy for you. So when I do such thing and I see results, I see comments from you guys, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel fulfilled. So I promise I will try as much as possible to make my video detailed from now on. I will not allow anyone to discourage me, even if people are not going to watch. But guys, watch my videos. I'm making effort to make these things very, very detailed for you guys. I'm making efforts. All right, so that's why I'm here today. Normal live stream is going to be every Sundays. But before I go, I wouldn't want you to just come waste your time and go. There's something I want to point out. If you're a beginner and you just got your machine and you're having issues with sewing, there's something I'm going to be talking about. I jotted at 5 points that we're just going to be talking about. We are not actually doing a live stream. The reason I came here is to address a particular issue and to just quickly add a little value. Right, I want you to get something before you leave today. So it's not going to be long, at least 30 minutes live stream. So make sure you stay here to watch. Okay, this one, they are coming in, going out, watch and gain something. All right, so I am going to talk about, if you are a beginner and you have a sewing machine and you have an issue with your machines, all right, especially the needle and the plates. All right, if you be following, first of all, let me talk about my plates. I don't know if you have followed most of my live stream. When I was staying in my shop, I was always complaining, and you guys always notice that whenever I'm sewing, my machine thread will just get stuck. It was always getting stuck. So I started thinking, maybe because I've been using this machine for a long time. It's an old-fashioned machine. I bought it fairly used. I've been using for a long time, and I hardly service it. I thought it was just going, like it was getting spoiled, since I've not serviced it that much. So I never knew that the issue was from the plate, though I have a certain feeling that the plate could be an issue. So the plate was actually the issue. All right, so if you are having an issue, the reason I'm bringing this up, because since I got my plates, I've got them in dozen, because I know if you're an experienced bag maker, if you've been using your machine for a long time, you should have known this for sure. But if you're a beginner, there are things that you don't know, so let's address such an issues. All right, so if your machine, you are sewing and your thread keep getting stuck at the darn, one of the issue I notice is it could be as a result of your plate, this part of the plate where the needle goes in, this part. Okay, where the needle goes when you are sewing. If it's rough, for instance, once it's rough, it's getting rough, please try and change it as much as possible. That could be an issue. When this thing kept on happening, somebody told me that it could be as a result of plate. Maybe the place, I have to change the plate, but I never listened to the person. I kept on calling machine engineers. I have to pay twice for me to realize that the issue is from the plate. In as much as I'm an experienced bag maker, I didn't listen. Okay, so immediately I changed the plate, everything started running smoothly. So I had to go and get the place in dozen, all right, and they are very, very cheap in Nigeria currency, and in dozen is less than 2,000 naira. They are very, very cheap. So you get them in dozen. Once you notice your plate, you are sewing and it's getting rough here, okay, change it. It's going to get rough, guys, especially when you are sewing bags that are hard. If you are a tailor, these are things that are not common. It might not be common because you have to be using a very tiny needle, size 16, size 18. But in this case, you want to sew structured bags, you want to sew hard bags, you want to sew bags that are sturdy, right? And you are using a needle that is size 23, okay, which is a bit big. And it's going to always affect this part. It's going to affect this part that it goes through. And when it affects, it becomes rough, because it has eaten into it. So once you feel that effect that it's not longer smooth, please change the plate before you start having issue and you start thinking otherwise. And by the time you keep on calling machine engineers, they won't tell you, when they know that these things are simple things that you can rectify and correct on your own. They won't tell you because they want to make money, they want to extort money from you. I'm saying it, guys know me, I'm always here for you. I'm here for you at the beginner. So whatever my experience is and I've learned from it, I will always come here and pass such and the way I'm able to fix such an issue. So it's an issue I've fixed, and before then I learned in a hard way. I had to pay twice. So when I finally rectified, corrected that mistake, and I found out a solution to it, I thought to myself that I had to bring it and let you guys know. In as much as it's something that most of you must have known, for the beginners, I decide to just come and let you guys know. So it's going to occur, especially when I'm using a very thick needle. We are using a needle that is as big as this for a machine like this, because this machine is not an industrial machine. If it's an industrial machine, size 26 can go, size 29 can go, big size needles can go. But this machine, normally, naturally, they are not made for big size needle. Okay, so you using a big size needle for something that is not created, a big size needle is not created for it. Let me just say it that way. It's going to be kind of wearing this off. Okay, occasionally it's going to wear it off. So once you notice that it's wearing off, all right, once you notice that it's kind of getting damaged, this part that the needle goes through, please change it, and they are very, very, very affordable to get. All right, so changing your needle, then you don't have to notice that, guys. I have 5 points that I've jotted out for us to learn from today. You don't have to notice. So the best thing for you, even before you come to that stage, I will advise you personally, when I sew 2 bags, after sewing 2 bags, I change my needle. 2 hard bags, 2 structured bags. Let me show you what I mean. I don't mean the soft kind of bags, I mean the structured bags. All right, when I sew like these bags, they are very, very structured, right? They are sturdy, they are hard. So immediately I finish sewing 2 bags, I change my needle. I change it. I don't have to wait for it to get blunt. I don't have to wait for it to start giving me issues before I change it. So you make sure you change your needle after sewing about 2 bags, hard bags. All right, so this morning I was doing research on what to say about that, and I found out that some persons say that every 6 hours you change your needle. Other person's opinion, school of thought, is every 10 hours, which is not going to be easy. It's going to be, you understand, it's kind of going to be stressful. Imagine you changing needle every 10 hours, every 6 hours. Okay, I don't think that is practical for me. So that's what some school of thought said on Google online when I search for it. You change your needle every 10 hours, every 6 hours. But personally, when your machine is not like when you're having machine issue. It might discourage you from going further in bag sewing. You just want everything to go smoothly. These are little things that you take notice of. Also, make sure that your plate does not run, it does not wear out. You know, now if you guys follow me on my live stream, you see, you just go to my live stream and see the issue I was having. So that's why I had to film like a bag that would have taken me like a day to film. I had to film it like 5 times. I have to film that bag 5 times because whenever I'm sewing, after sewing, when it gets to sewing, it gets stuck. My thread will just get stuck at the down. You people experienced it, right? You experienced it if you followed me when I was in my shop. All right, you experienced the issue I was having with it. It was just a minute issue, and I had to call a machine technician and paid for it, something that I could have fixed myself. But when I finally realized that these are things I would have done, I would have just gotten this in dozen, and that would have just solved my problem. Okay, so if you are a beginner, please make sure you get lots of this, okay, because you are sewing structured bag and this thing is going to be eating up almost every time. Get it, then change your needle after sewing 2 hard bags. I'm not saying the soft bags, so I'm not saying, if you're a tailor, I'm not saying you should do the same thing, no. But for structured bags and you are using a very big size needle like size 23 to sew, is going to be wearing off every time. So you make sure you change your needle so that everything will run smoothly. So that's what. Then your bobby case too. Your bobby case too. You are sewing and your needle is getting caught as a beginner. Your needle is breaking. Especially when you are sewing hard bags. You know it's not easy to sew hard bags. When you are sewing hard bags, you start having issues. I'm saying this, it's not something, me, I'm already used to sewing hard bags, right? But people that buy my course, my online course, come and like they are trying to sew and they are having this issue or that, I have to make a film, I have to make a video on how they can sew smoothly. So when it's not just about bag preparation, sewing bags, sometimes you have matching issues too. So your matching bobbin case, make sure when you are fixing it, it's set correctly, it's fixed correctly. So if you have been using your machine, you know the way it is. When it's fixed into the machine correctly, you will know it makes a sound, a clicking sound, like okay. Let me put it under my machine so for you to hear that sound. Okay, I want to fix it in place. Now you hear a sound. Did you guys hear that sound? Let me fix it again. So there's a sound that you are going to hear that will indicate that it's rightly fixed. All right, so that is the sound. If you don't hear that sound, that means your bobby case is not fixed, and if it's not fixed well, your needle is going to keep on eating on it. Like, do you understand? Because there's a hole there that it's supposed to go through. There's a hole on the bobby case. Okay, when it's well fixed, this one is going to go through that hole and the needle is going to be passing through this hole. But if it's not well positioned, if it's not well fixed, it might just come like this. Instead of it going through that hole, it start eating this metal, and that will result to your needle getting bricked. These are some of the things as a beginner. I know some of you that are experienced already know the best. If you are already experienced and you don't know this, please take note of this. All right, these are things that will make your needle break. These are things that will make your machine not start working well. Number one, you start calling machine technicians to come and fix, and these people, they are so heartless. They are so heartless, because when I first started and I didn't know anything much about machine, they extorted me. Things that are very minute, they extorted me. So if you don't have idea, they just take you as a fool and they started extorting money from you. So the next thing I want to talk about is the fixing of needle. Guys, please, this is very, very important. I have a student, I don't know, that student, I don't know. Like, I keep telling her the same thing and she keeps doing the opposite. Whenever she wants to fix her needle, normally when you're fixing your needle, this part is a smooth part. Do you see it? I don't know, it's blurring. So there's the smooth part of the needle and there's this part that has hole. All right, okay, let me move it back. There's a part that has hole. All right, so when you are fixing, this smooth part is a part that is going to go this way. All right, it goes this way, like it's facing towards the machine itself. Then this one that has hole, it comes out outward. If you don't fix it in that way, if you don't fix it in this manner, number one, your thread, you'll be skipping thread, your machine will be skipping thread, like it will be jumping thread, it will not be tight, and it will not even sew. So this particular student of mine, I don't know if because our mommy is a seamstress, I don't know if our mommy has been doing that for a long time. Most times she will come to me and say the machine is not working, it's skipping thread. And before I leave the machine for her, I always make sure that everything is working well. But eventually I will now come to realize that the issue she's having is the lack of the fact that he did not fix the machine the needle well. So if you are fixing your needle and this flat part is not facing towards the machine, and this one that has hollow, I've showed you, has to face outward, you are going to be jumping, your machine is going to be jumping thread. So I've made 4 points, made 3 points, and take note as a beginner. These things, they are very, very important. Nobody is going to be telling you these things, and if you don't do them, it gets you discouraged. So the reason of me being here is to help you pass through these things smoothly, so you don't have to get discouraged when using your machine, when sewing, but especially when sewing hard bag. All right, there's a difference. When you are sewing the soft bag, it can go smoothly, but when you are sewing, that's why most people don't like sewing hard bags, though it's very interesting. People buy more of hard bags, study bag, than soft bag, but even at that, it comes with its own challenges. So these are many small things that we have to take note of. I've talked about the bobbin. Your machine bobbin case has to be well fixed. All right, it has to be well fixed. And when you fix it, to know what if it's well fixed, it has to make a clicking noise. Is it a click? Like, it has to click in place. All right. And two, you have to take note that this plate is being changed often. All right, because once you find out that this part that the machine needle is passing through is eating up, change it. Then you also have to change your machine needle after sewing like 2 bags, hard bags, 2 structured bags like this. Okay, so you have to change your machine needle often, because if you don't change it, it becomes blurry and it start giving you issues. And the positioning of your, when fixing the needle, is a very important, because important aspect of it that we have to take notice of, because if you don't, it's going to make a big difference. If the smooth part does not face this way and you do it otherwise, your thread are going to be skipping. It's not even going to sew. It's something that I've experienced, and one of my students have been complaining just because she's stubborn. She's a very nice student of mine. She's doing well, she's my best, but other part, I don't just know what issue is. She keep on changing like fixing the machine needle in the wrong way, and she often comes to me to complain that it's not sewing well. So I've observed it. Make sure your machine needle is rightly fixed. I've told you how to fix it. In your machine needle, if you are using a machine needle, there's a smooth part and there's the one that has hole. The smooth part is the one that is going to face the machine like this. So if this is the smooth part, for those of you that just come in, this is the smooth part, okay, and this is the one that has hole. This is what I has hole. So this smooth part is the one, like the way I'm holding it now, this is how you're going to fix it. Okay, you fix it like this. The one that has hole is going to face this side, the smooth part is going to face towards the machine. Make sure all of these things are put in place if you don't want to start having issue with your machine. All right, you have to solve when. So there's something I was talking on my community tab. I talked about walking foot. Okay, we talked about walking foot. All right, so if eventually you are able to gather money and you get a machine, please make sure the machine you are getting has a walking foot. That is very important. Personally, if you have been watching my old video, you see that I have an industrial machine, 2 lion industrial machine. Okay, I told you guys I'm going to find the price of industrial machine for the flatbed machine. Currently, a flatbed machine is sold for 115k if you're in Nigeria, and the cylinder bed is between 217 to 219. All right, but I didn't price it. I just find the price out for your sake. I mean the 2 lion products. All right, so if for all these machines I've just mentioned, especially the industrial machines, they come with working foot. Okay, there's difference between a working foot and a normal foot. If you want to start sewing if you want to become a professional bag maker, get a machine with working foot. I know that most of those machines come with working foot. If you don't know what a working foot is, I just posted a I posted an article on my community tab today where I sent some pictures of working food, and there's also a link there that you can go watch it in detail where I talk about a flatbed machine. Guys, by the end of my Saturday, I'm going to do a podcast article on a cylinder bed machine. We're going to talk more extensively on it, so make sure you view my community tabs. You subscribe to my podcast, my audio speech. All right, so working food is different from a normal food. As I said before, every industrial machine comes with a working foot. It has the advantage that it's able to clap over any layers, like many layers of fabric. When I say fabric, I'm actually referring to, it could be Ankara, it could be leather, it could be adire, it could be ashoke. Okay, like I'm generalizing it. So when I say fabric, I'm not limiting it to Ankara, I'm not limiting it to Africa print. I'm talking about all the things I use. Could be your leather too. So if you want to sew layers and layers of fabric together, working foot is the right matching foot. I know you guys know what I mean by working foot. You know what it is by working foot. This is a foot, right? This is a matching foot. The industrial matching foot is kind of locked, so this is a foot. This is called foot. Okay, this is the technical name for it. Okay, so I don't know what other but this just this machine foot. All right, so if you are getting a industrial machine, ask them. You have to ask a question. Ask them, make sure the machine you are getting comes with a working foot, because a working foot is able to pass through layers and layers of machine. It just goes through it easily. It just jump through it. It's able to sew it easily, and that is the best foot for your machine. So you take note of that. For industrial machines, the one I got, I told them and they told me that it's going to come with a working foot. But if you are using another advantage of a working foot, that it's best for quitting. Okay, a working foot is best for quitting. It's best for quitting. You might say, what is the big deal about quitting? Yes, it's best for quitting because if you are sewing some leather that are slippery and you want to quit, it might just start like there's that force trying to hold it back. But a working foot, the way it's built, it just goes through it. I'm talking about leather, and no any other foot can walk through sewing. When it comes to quit, it can sew through fabric. When it comes to quitting fabric, I mean Ankara, it's easy to quit Ankara, right? You can use any matching foot to quit Ankara, and that's what I observed. But for leather, there are some leather sometimes you are trying to quit, you are trying to sew, they are slippery, they are not even going through. That's why some persons use matching oil to sew, because leathers have their own challenges when sewing through. Not all leathers are easy for you to sew through. If you have been working with leather, you will notice that not all leather are easy to sew through. Yeah, sewing some leather is giving you some challenges. Some people use oil, matching oil, just put it on the leather, it goes through. But instead of even going that, if you don't want to use oil, the best thing to use is to get a working foot. So for an industrial machine, it comes with a working foot. But if you are using a blackhead machine like this, there's a working foot. It's always white. So I told you guys, I promised you guys I was going to bring it, but I haven't, because all this while I've not gone to my shop. Most of my things, machine things, are in my shop. So I'm just trying to get rest now. I'm going to stay a long time until before I resume to work. All right, guys. So it's just something you can browse it. You can search for it on Amazon. I got one from Amazon. I also got one from AliExpress. They sell it in eBay too, so you can get all of this. So if you are using an industrial machine, you can get it and attach it. You attach it. Not industrial machine, sorry guys. If you are using a blackhead machine, all blackhead machine, or most blackhead machines like this, they don't come with working foot, so you have to get one and fix it there. So for the reason why you have to get a working foot for your blackhead machine is, one, if you want to go into quitting. If it's quitting you want, like me, I do quitting a lot. I quit bags, those tote bags. I sent 2 videos on how to quit bag, and so them, you can check my this and see how I quitted them. Also, if you're also working with leather, if you work with leather a lot, you notice that there are some leather that are just hard. You can't sew, not all leather you can sew through. They become slippery, like it's hard for you to sew through. Okay, except you put some oil, but you don't have to put machine oil. You can just get that working through it. You just run through it. There's a way the dam is built so that you're able to just sew through your leather easily. So the other advantage anyway, but that's the purpose of working food. That's because I said on my community tab on my YouTube channel, I talked about working food. So if you don't understand, I just say let me just put a bit of explanation to it today. All right, so that's basically everything that we're going to be talking about today. I'm not here to do a live stream today. I'm actually here to address the issue. I made a very sensitive comment about why I did not send a detailed video, which I felt it not right of me. If I actually say that your concern is my concern, if I'm actually saying that I'm here for the beginner, I should, there's no reason, there's no reason for me to make, there should have been no reason for me to make such a comment. Like it's not called for that. I don't know if you guys understand. Like I should not have made such a comment. So I came to address it. So I'm saying that irrespective of the fact that only few of you watch detailed video that I make, I'm still going to continue. But it's part of that, guys. We cannot always repeat the same thing over and over again, so that we can progress. All right, this is a new year, this 2023. We have to progress. We have to move from the level we are to another level. So if you have been following me up from the beginning of the creator of my YouTube channel, you should have known that most of those things that I'll be saying, I'll be repeating them over and over again. So the best thing for us is to leave some things out and move forward to better things. There are things that we have not learned. There are trick and tips of things that we have not learned. So also, guys, I want to say something. This is a trick. This is a trick. All right. So one thing that I want to say that I'm going to commend you guys for being on this live stream, because most persons live stream, they don't like watching live stream. So but unfortunately, it's only on my live stream that I give out some tricks that normally I'm not going to be giving out, except on my course. Do you get? Super glue. It's very, very important, guys, in anything you do. If for instance you sew a bag, and after sewing your bag you find out that some part is not sewn, all right, you can use your super glue to gum that thing. It can last. I've seen some bag makers, they don't even sew their lining inside their bag, they just put super glue and hold it. Super glue is very strong. Let me tell you how strong a super glue is. When you put a super glue on something, on a metal for instance, it start bringing out smoke. A super glue can even get you burnt. That's how it is. This thing very, very important. So shoemaker also use it after using their gum. They use super glue to finish their work. It's a very, very important accessory that you have to get. I want to say that this super glue, if you're in Nigeria, it comes in different brand though. It comes, I've gotten some super glues that did not even last, they are not good. So if you are getting the super glue, ask them for the brand, the ones that are lasting, the ones that are strong. All right, if you are going to get a super glue that is not strong, you will use it and use your fabric to start pulling whatever you have used it for, start pulling apart. So get a big super glue, get a good super glue. The important thing I want to talk about a super glue is when you are sewing the side of your bag. All right, when you are trying to sew the side of your bag, before you sew, I've always told you to use gum to put them, to hold them together before you sew. All right, so that the side does not move against the panel. But sometimes if you notice, if you have tried it, if you have made attempt, if you notice, even when you use your gum on it, it's still going to move apart, right? Okay, the truth is that this gum is not going to hold it as much as super glue. Okay, these are things I've done, I've experienced. So the best thing for you to do is when you are sewing the side of your bag, instead of using this all around, you can just put a bit of super glue at this place. Before you put your side panel, you put it a bit here, you put a bit here, then you put your side and press it. It's going to hold it in place. You get? It's going to hold it in place. First of all, it's going to take away that stress of you trying to put a gum around it. It's going to minimize the stress. Is it minimize? okay, it's going to reduce the stress of you doing that, because you have to, you don't have to put it around it, you just have to put at this tip and you put here. All right, but again, before I will talk about super glue, if you are good in ordering things online, the best gum to use to hold, before you sew, to hold your, the body of your bags together, is your double-sided tape. Okay, double-sided tape. If you are in UK, if you are in USA, these are things that you can easily get. You can get them in e-store, you can get them in eBay, you can get them in Amazon. I've gotten that double-sided tape before. As at the time I got it about 3 years ago in AliExpress, it was just $1. As at that time, a dollar was just 300 naira in Nigeria currency. So instead of, like, what you're going to use a double-sided tape for is, you just use it before you put your side to your bag. You make sure you put your double-sided tape there. There's a way it works. So number one, the important is, it's going to prevent, it might not even stain your fabric, and it reduces the stress of using your gum to do that. So you can use your double-sided tape, but in Nigeria you don't get a double-sided tape to buy except you order it online. So if you don't get it, I will advise you to use your super glue instead of using this, because something that I've noticed, using this sometime before you put your side panel might not hold it in place. Okay, you might have used it and you put your side before you sew to your main body, and you feel that, you notice that by the time you are sewing, the side panel is still moving away from the body. It happens. Okay, even when you clips, it still moves away from it. The best thing is, use your super glue. I've told you how to use it. Just put a bit here. Put super glue is very, very strong. Put a bit here, put a bit here. It's going to hold it in place, and that will be easy for you to sew. You see, these are the tricks. You know, on my other video I won't say it except on live, so that is why you have to be here on my live, guys. I'm talking fast because I'm filming, I'm completing that bag today. The bag I uploaded, I'm going to complete the bag today so that I can upload it tomorrow. So I'm just being fast. All right, guys, if you are getting value from what I'm saying, if you are gaining something, let me know. Always comment. Okay, that is going to encourage me. All right, I think that's basically everything we are going to talk about today. And please do not forget, every Sunday I will be here waiting for you guys at 8 o'clock. Okay, so gather your question. And one other thing I want to say, guys, please make sure you attempt to do something. Attempt to do something. As they say, you never can tell if you are good at something until you practice that thing. Okay, until you practice the thing. Even if you don't get a sewing machine yet, let me tell you how I started mine. When I started, I had always had a I have always had a passion for sewing. So when I started learning how to sew, before I get my equipment, what I usually do then, I'll just get some papers. And sometimes, like a paper as big as this, I will get a paper, I will use my gum to add several paper layers together, gum them together, or sew them together. I'll start using those paper to draft out patterns. Okay, then I will use my needle to start putting them together. So whatever you see on online, whatever you see on tube or YouTube, if you are a passionate bag maker, you want to start making bags and you haven't gotten your tools here, start practicing. You can start practicing by getting papers. You can start practicing by getting fabrics. You can get fabrics that are not useful. Okay, I'm sorry guys, there was a call that was coming, so I had to just cancel head the call. So there are some bags that you can do, like you can just okay, I was saying that there are some, you can get some dresses that you're not using. Okay, you just use your blade to like tear them, like you can use them to start practicing some useless clothes, your old clothes that you're not using. You can use them to start practicing. You don't have to wait until you get your machines, your equipment complete. I'm saying this, you have to practice first. It's one thing to say this thing theoretically, it's another thing to practice. Practicing these things is different from saying it. You might just be listening to me saying it, but if you want to put them into practice, you find out that it's not as easy. I'm not trying to discourage you guys, it's not as easy as what you think. So always make attempts, always endeavor to practice, in as much as you listen to me, in as much as you watch my videos and also listen to other people that make videos online, make sure you practice. Whatever you have, use it to practice. You don't have to start spending money. Get your paper, get your things together, put them together, get your needle, your hand sewing needle, stitch a bag. All right, stitch a bag. And if you already have these machines, if you already have the equipment, you make a bag, please get my contact on my about page. Send me the pictures of the bag that you have made. Let me criticize you constructively. All right, let me criticize you constructively. I'm not saying that I'm an island of knowledge. I'm not saying that I know all. I'm not saying that I know it all, right? So I'm only saying that from my little experience, I could always correct you, because the way I am now, I still have mentors that are still correcting me. So make a bag, send me a pictures. I will tell you this where you are faulted, this where this fault is, this way, so you can learn. You have to grow. It's not about listening alone. You have to practicalize everything you have. And if you are that person that have not gotten the right equipment yet, you can start practicing. Get clothes that are useless. Get things. You can get paper. You can use paper as a stabilizer. You can use carton. You can use carton. I mean, you know what a carton is? As a stabilizer. And all you need is just to get gum. You can go get a gum of 500. Use it as a stabilizer. Then you can use your needle to start stitching. If you are going to use carton, make sure it doesn't get to the edge of what you are going to sew, so that your needle will be able to pass through. Because if it's too thick, you start having issue using your needle to sew. You can start practicing. Please do not wait for you to get everything. So by the time you now have them, it will be easy. Because if you are waiting for you to get, excuse me guys, so if you are waiting to get this equipment and you've not gained the skills, you've not acquired the knowledge, when you get equipment, this happened to me. Okay, so I was learning. I didn't learn like everything fast. I was just urging my family, I need to get that. So as at the time I now got them, I could not, like, I kept on making mistakes. Like I wasn't that perfect, because at that time, before I got there, I was a bit relaxed. So before you actually get your equipment, your tools, make sure you are practicing until you are able to afford it, so that when you get it, everything will just go smoothly. The same thing go with getting a cylinder bed machine. You can if you have this, keep on using it. Don't be discouraged. The knowledge you have on using blackhead machine is the same knowledge. You are going to transfer the same knowledge to using a cylinder bed machine. I bet you. I keep on saying that there are some people that I know personally that are professional bag makers. Up till now, they are still learning how to use a cylinder bed machine. Okay, because they don't even have a knowledge about using a basic machine. First of all, they don't know how to use a basic machine. So how do you expect them to use a cylinder bed machine? So keep on learning. It's just like you are in a base, like you want to get, you've gotten admission into a tertiary institution, and you are in level 1, right? If you have gotten admission into a basic institution, if you are in level 1, you notice that the stuff, everything that we are taught to you when you are still in secondary school, when you are still in college, and most of the things are going to be repeated when you are in the university, especially when you are in level 1, level 2. That's how this bag making stuff is. So the things you are learning now, you are going to transfer that knowledge to whatever you're going to be doing when you've gotten the higher machines. So if, for instance, you are very good in using this particular machine, by the time you get a cylinder bed machine, it's not going to be a problem. But if you fold your hands and you're waiting for a bigger machine to come, you're not doing anything, you're not practicing, when you get that machine, it will not look as though you're starting from the scratch. You now start learning how to use a machine. You start learning how to do some basic things. So do not give up. Do not give up at all. Make sure you whatever you see online, practice them. Practice. Do not give me the excuse of saying I don't have the equipment, I don't have what to practice with. No, you can get anything to practice with. Get a hand sewing needle, get paper, get clothes that are not good, bring them together, get the patterns, get free patterns, start practicing. Do not wait for you to get machine. Even if you cannot afford those machine, start practicing. That's my sincere advice for you. Start sewing to get a pattern. Use your hand, use carton, use paper, use clothes that are not good to start practicing. All right, and do not give up. There is reward in hard work. Do not give up. I know what I'm saying. Bag making, you are going to learn a lot. You can, the way it's going now, this the world is going digital, is going is technologically inclined. You don't even have to sell bag alone. You can sell your bag, you can sell your digital course, you can sell. Thank you Abraham. Please, what are the basic material for bag making? Okay, should I do a video about that? I did a live stream about that. For beginners, it depends on what you want to. If you're a beginner, the basic equipment, you need something. I talk about chisel when I talk about fake, like if you cannot afford them. So if you are things that you can afford, you just want to start bag making, the basic materials are going to be your machine. You're going to need a machine, and depending on the bag you want to go into, if it's a hard studding bag, you need a machine that is a black head. But when getting a machine, please do not get a new machine. Get a tsukubo machine that's hard and solid, because you're going to be sewing things that are hard. And once you get that machine, tell your machine technician to configure that machine in a way that it can sew a hard bag. So basic material is you get your machine, you get your scissors, you get your hammer, you get your plank. I think the most important thing, these other things I'm measuring are things that are not very expensive, but the important thing is just getting a machine. So once you get your machine, every other thing is paramount. Personally for me, if you can afford it. But if you can afford it, get a cylinder bed machine. You can say it's staged. All right, if you are very wedding, if you already have the money, if you already saved the money, instead of getting this machine, get a cylinder bed machine. But if you can afford everything, I would advise you to get this machine, because there are times that you're going to be needing this machine. There are times that you want to sew lining into your bag. Your cylinder machine is not going to be sewing your lining, because if you attempt to sew lining with your cylinder bed machine, it's going to be poking big mighty holes on your lining. So if you can afford everything, if you have the money, okay, get this machine, a blackhead machine, get a cylinder bed machine, get a flat bed machine. I will also advise you to get a post bed machine. Just get them. It will make your work very easy. It will make your work very easy. Okay, it will make your work very easy. When you are sewing your side of your bag, you run to your cylinder machine. Though cylinder machine is multifunctional, I can sew flat parts too. When you are sewing flat parts of your bag, you go to your flatbed machine. When you want to sew your lining, you want to sew things that are not thick, all right, you want to sew your pockets into your bag, you use your blackhead machine with size 16 or size 17 needle. Okay, so it depends on your pocket. It depends on your pocket. It depends on if you can afford it. So if you cannot afford it, if you're a beginner, just get a blackhead machine first. Get a blackhead machine. And if you feel the blackhead machine is very expensive, you can start by making a bag. I think I've done a live stream when I say you can just get your bag prepared, take it to people that have this machine, pay them a thousand naira, let them sew the bag for you. You don't have to get a machine before you start. Even if you don't have a sewing machine, you can just learn the process of making a bag, putting everything together. You can sew them, you can get a contract. Anyway, if somebody is giving you plenty bags to do, do not tell the person I don't have a machine and as a result I cannot sew your bag. Get it. If once you know the process of making that bag, putting it together, once you've prepared them, you can take them to people that have this machine and pay them little by little. If you are going to sew them in bulk, they can even reduce because you are sewing plenty, right? You sew until you are able to gather your money and get your machine. And also, if you don't want to take them to people that have machine, there's this other fake. You can sew it and use a hand stitch, do a hand stitching. So one thing that makes sewing easy is getting those fake. You can get them online. I think you can, yes, even in Nigeria now they sell them. Before it used to, I used to buy online, but I know you can get them in Nigeria. They are called chisel, CHISER. They are like fake. All right, I posted them on my community tab, or if I don't post, I'm going to post it today. They are like fake. All right, you can use them to poke holes. After preparing, just poke holes and use your hand to stitch. I know that is a bit stressful, but I'm trying to base my talk on the fact that there are some people that are just starting up that cannot afford some of those things. These are the things that personally I advise you to do. It's either you get that thing, or if you cannot get it, make sure you get your bag prepared. Take them to people that have machine. Let them sew it for you for a very, very small amount. All right, do not say because you have not gotten the equipment you need and you are not going to start anything. No, learn the process of making bags, learn the process of making bags, learn the process of putting them together. After you have sewed them, take them to people who have this equipment, let them sew it for you. They won't take more than 500 naira for a bag. All right, I know you're going to be gaining above that, way above that. All right, start gathering your customers now. Most time it's not even about the what I've learned, it's not even about the skills. Sometimes it's about people. Do you have marketers on ground? You have people that are going to patronize you. So don't discourage when somebody comes to you and say, can you do this? Don't say no, because I've not gotten the equipment, I'm not going to do that. No, try getting them, try gathering them, learn the process. You can learn the process, put them together, take them to people who have this equipment, let them sew them neatly for you. You can even collaborate with these people and do the work together. When somebody gives you work, go to the people, bargain on how much you are going to. So there are a lot of things that you can do. All right, so sorry if I'm deviating from the question. You ask what are the basic materials and tools you advise for a beginner. Basically I think there are a whole lot, but these things are, aside from the machines, which are quite expensive, a bit expensive, the other ones are paramount. Are things that you can basically do without. Okay, you can improvise and you still get your result. You can improvise and you still get your result. They are not that important, but the most important thing you need is the sewing machine. For me, is the sewing machine. So as a beginner, get a basic sewing machine. But if you can afford it, go for a cylinder bed machine. Go for this one. This one will help you to sew your lining to still help you. Okay, there are sometimes you don't want to stress yourself. Using a cylinder bed machine. In as much as there are advantages in using a cylinder bed machine, it's a bit stressful. The shaking, vibration and everything. There are sometimes you don't want to stress yourself, especially when you're tired. You don't want to. This one is still going to help you out. So if you can afford it, get a cylinder bed machine, get a blackhead machine, get a flat bed machine, get a post bed machine. I've talked about flat bed machine on my article and my podcast. My next podcast and article is going to be on cylinder bed machine. Please guys, make sure you read. These little things are going to create awareness for you. All right, I think we have talked a whole lot. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Turn up for today is so encouraging, guys. Thank you for the support. Like, you could just gladden my heart. Like, thank you. I see you. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you. I might not mention you. Thank you. God bless you guys. I love the turn up today. It's encouraging. Keep on supporting. Supporting will make me to keep on giving back to you. Do you know? Okay, because when I'm doing this and turn up is low, it's discouraging. I don't want to, though I want to give. I love you guys. So that is it. But one thing again, I'll beg you guys, please, you guys should ask questions. Because most time I just run out of idea. I really don't know what to talk about. See, you ask questions. Okay, before I go, I know I've talked about this, but I'll keep on emphasizing on the fact that please do not wait until you get your materials. If you are watching my videos on bag making, if you are watching other YouTubers videos on bag making, one thing I notice is, let me tell you the reason I'm going to be emphasizing on this point. I remember when I started making bags, immediately I just learned a bag, which after a year I forgot all the idea. So I traveled from the city to the village. I traveled because as at that time I didn't even have equipment. I didn't have anything to start with. So I traveled to the village to go also for money to get equipment. So before I got my equipment, it took me over a year, right? So when I was there, the person that promised to give me money for my equipment um, kept on kind of telling me that something happened that he could not get the money to give to me, right? He kept on like disappointing, like, I think that is the right word. The person kept on disappointing me. So something that would have taken me, that I've already set my mind on, that it was going to take me like 3 months to get, it took me over a year. But what did I do? I just took my hand sewing needle, tried gathering paper, guys. As at that time, if you see my room was filled up with papers. I had to gather paper. So if I download any video on YouTube channel, I will first of all learn the pattern. That's why I'm very, very good in pattern drafting. Guys, I'm extremely good in pattern drafting. Because in the village, that's what I basically did, because there was no machine for me to practice with. I was just drafting paper. After drafting, I'll use my hand to sew. There's no pattern you see. If I look at it twice, I'm going to draft it. So when I was in village, I was just like, in the village, in my room, if you get to my house at that time, it was just filled with paper. So I would go and buy. I particularly was just buying papers. I was buying paper. What I would do, I would tear a paper like this, tear another paper. If I want to sew a big bag, I will use my gum. I will just put them together. I'll just gum them together so that it will be wide and big. Then I'll use my tape to measure the pattern out. Then I will do exactly what I have viewed or watched on a particular YouTube video or tutorial that I watched. I'll start using my hand to sew. Okay, but in as much that I was eager to get a machine to really see the way it was, I did not just sit back. I wasn't just waiting for the person to get me the money to get the equipment before I start. I was still practicing. So if you have any video that you have viewed on how to make any bag, please make sure you practice. And before I head this live stream, I want to beg you guys to please make a bag and send it to me on my WhatsApp page. Let me see what you've made. Let me see the sample of what you made. If there's any way I'm going to correct you guys, if there's any way I'm going to criticize you guys, to praise you guys, I will definitely do that. That is going to help you to grow. It's going to definitely help you to grow. All right, please make a bag, show it to me. One thing I've known from my experiences, from my personal experience, is theory is different from practical. I tell you guys, being theoretical, like being just seeing it alone, being theoretical is different from being practical. If you are watching it, if you are seeing it, you feel that it's something that is easy. No, it might not be as easy as you think or as you feel, until you start doing it and start seeing challenges. So make sure you practice these things. And if you are practicing and you've made something, please let me see what you have done. You can send me a picture, you can send me a sample on my WhatsApp page, and let me criticize you constructively, so you're able to grow, you're able to learn from my criticism. Okay, trust me, I'm not going to say anything bad. But if I notice, for instance, you have sewn and the stitches are not straight and there are some things, I'm going to point that out for you so you can learn from it. So you sew your bag as a beginner, send the pictures to me on my WhatsApp so I can criticize you constructively. I'm here for you guys. As I always say, I love you guys so much. I know that it's not easy. It's not, especially when you cannot afford those things, especially when you cannot pay physically to learn this course, and all you can do is to download video on YouTube, especially if you're a working class person and you don't even have time to go for the physical class. I know it's not easy. That's why I've always put myself in your shoe. So make sure you send your samples, make a bag, send a sample to me, send it to my WhatsApp page. It's on my about page in my YouTube channel. Say it. If you cannot have it, tell me, contact me, send it to my WhatsApp page. I'll give you my WhatsApp number. Let me criticize you constructively. There are a lot of things that you might feel you are doing right that you are not. Okay, it only takes somebody that has learned from experience that can correct you. So send a picture of your work to my WhatsApp page. Let me criticize you constructively so you can learn. All right, I think we've talked enough, and right now I'm just going to continue filming for the other bags. So by the grace of God, I either send it tomorrow or Friday, because I have to upload that video to you guys tomorrow so I can continue another one. I have a whole lot of bags to upload for you guys. I don't know. I have a whole lot of bags to upload for you guys. So I'm just going to wish you guys a good night, a happy good night, sweet dreams, and have a nice time. And if you have not subscribed, if you are here viewing my channel and you have not subscribed, you're just viewing by name, you just check for my name and view, please ensure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, have a nice day. Love you guys.